What is up, you guys, and welcome to this video. We are finally doing this. I finally have Cynthia here right beside me. Me and her are both excited to do this. It is finally time for my first Q&A, which is also kind of an interview type of deal I have. Cynthia here is going to ask me a bunch of questions that I've been asked multiple times, and I'm just going to answer them truthfully for you. So, here we go.
Hello everyone, it is so great to finally show my true identity. Zach was worried about letting me show my face because he thought I would get noticed so often on the street, but if anyone does ever see me, I would love to meet my fans and give autographs or take pictures or whatever. Let's get to the first question. What made you want to start gaming?
Well, it all started when an ex of mine introduced me to this really popular gaming YouTuber whose name is Markiplier, and he's very well known. And I've never heard of him before she introduced me to him. And I love his videos. I've been watching his videos every day ever since. I watch all his, how-tos, all his try not to laugh videos. All his gaming stuff, he's just a really great guy. I love his work. And eventually that made me find Jacksepticeye and PewDiePie, and I found other gaming channels branching off of those. And so I really liked the idea of connecting with an audience and starting a community and playing games with them. And so I kind of wanted to do that, I've always heard the analogy of it's like playing a video game with your friend sitting on a couch, or it's like watching your friend play the video game. And it's just really fun to connect with the audience like that, and I look forward to doing it more.
Very interesting. Next question. What was your inspiration for some of your songs?
I have written a lot of songs. Most of them I'm probably never going to perform because they were just, beginner songs that really aren't even that good, and I'm not proud of them. Maybe they are good, but I just don't have the courage or whatever to do it because I don't think they're that good, and they're just starter songs to learn from my mistakes and get better. But all over the world, which you guys have heard, hopefully, that was based off of me and a relationship I was in, and she wanted to travel, and I wanted to travel. We both were very into traveling. We wanted to go, coast to coast. We wanted to get out of this country, Paris, Mexico, go pretty much everywhere. And it was really on our bucket list to go to nearly every country as much as possible. And so I just wrote that song, Will You Travel the World With Me? And eventually it came into a really nice project that is now the finished project of that song. Stay Living was also based on a relationship I was in. We're all in those relationships where we're clingy and, you're dating your best friend and you don't want to spend a day without them. So, you're everything that I need to breathe and stay living, that stays true. You want to be with them constantly, and that's where the song came from. And another song you guys are going to hear eventually, Single as a Pringle, I wrote that at the beginning of the summer of 2019, and it happened after a breakup, after I lost a job, and I was just pretty much done with everything. And I just wanted to move on, start fresh, start new, get a new life, get a life period. And I just wanted I wanted a breakup song in a way, but I didn't want it to be depressing. I didn't want it to be a downer. I want it to be a breakup song that brings you up and almost comedic in a sense. So that's where I came up with single as a Pringle.
I see, and you are still single as a Pringle, correct?
My relationship status at the moment is currently single. I just got out of a really, really depressing relationship, and I'm happy I'm finally out of it. It wasn't going anywhere, I wasn't satisfied. But I am looking, so any of you girls out there, hit me up.
God, please don't do that again. Anyway, what were some of the first games you played?
The first game I probably ever played goes all the way back to like early elementary school days, where you actually had a computer class and you learned computer basic stuff, and you got to basically just play games for the hour or 45 minutes or 46 minutes, whatever. And I remember the first website I really thoroughly enjoyed was Cool Math for Kids. I don't know if it's even a thing anymore. I think they shut it down. But I really loved playing games like Diggy and IQ Ball. Those were really fun for me at the time. Cool Math for Kids was definitely on one of the most favorite websites I ever went to. Another website I really enjoyed doing was this one called MiniClip, which is also a website that doesn't exist anymore. I don't think. It might exist, but all the games you need Adobe Flash Drive, whatever, and no matter how many times you try to get it, it still won't work. So I think I think the website is just crashed completely. But I really enjoyed playing games like uh, Cabby Crusher or Cabby Crash or something like that. And Sewer Run. Sewer Run was amazing. It was like this skateboard game where you race a computer, basically. Uh, it was like 5 different AIs, and you just race them on a skateboard down a sewer pipe, and it was just really entertaining.
There are a lot of big name movies coming out next year. Do you have any idea which ones you'll be reviewing?
Movies I'll be reviewing next year. I'm trying to keep on the DL, but I do know that I want to see Birds of Prey. That is definitely on the list of movies to see and possibly review.
What are 5 things you would take if you spent a month on a boat in the middle of a lake?
5 things. We got, the guitar, and the accessories are a given. You got the pick, you got the capo, extra strings if necessary. You're only there for a month, so probably not extra strings, but not an amp because the guitar will be an acoustic. Um, Notepad, which is also accessories are a given, pen, pencils, whatever you choose to write with. I wouldn't take a phone or anything like that because it's an electronic and electronics die. Therefore, you can't charge them, and there's no data or Wi-Fi there anyway, so it's basically useless. Fishing pole and extra line and bait if necessary. Um, because you're on a boat and you gotta get food and you gotta fish for food. Uh, and along with that pole, I would bring like a knife or a machete of some sort to gut the fish, and you gotta be able to cut it up, therefore to eat it. Lastly, I would bring something, maybe like a lighter, just a simple lighter to cook the food. It would take a really long time, and you would probably run out of fluid. But yeah, a lighter to cook the food, because you can't bring like a whole barbecue on a boat. Depends on the type of boat, I guess. You know, but I'm not talking like pontoon. I'm talking basic, like simple 4-person lake boat.
Thank you for taking so long to say that. Not like we have anything better to do or anything. How do you deal with toxic people?
I have dealt with a lot of toxic people in my life, and they are very annoying. I'm very tired of them coming into my life. And, I've gotten rid of them. I have mistakenly gone back to them multiple times. Uh, I have accepted them back into my life uh, mistakenly as well. And it's just hard to deal sometimes. And you want to do your best to try to make that friendship or relationship work. But no matter what you do, it's always going to be one-sided, and you do everything possible to change that, and it's just not going to change because you can't change that person no matter how you treat them or no matter what you buy for them, because that's only going to make it worse. Um, so there's really no winning to it. You just gotta, either cut them off, just cold turkey, immediately block their cell, uh, just block them out of your life immediately, or tell them straight up, hey, screw you. I'm done putting up with your shit. Goodbye. And that's basically just as simple as it needs to be. I have made the mistake of not doing that. Uh, but as of right now, the toxic level in my life is probably a 3 at the moment. It has its ups, it has its downs. Right now, it's probably at a simple 3 on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the worst.
You probably get asked this question a lot, especially when you were in school. How tall are you exactly?
I get asked how tall I am very often. I am extremely tall. I stand next to short people, and they look even shorter than what they actually are. I stand next to tall people, and we look like mountains. I am 6'6".
Every relationship has a list of celebrities or well-known people who they are allowed to hook up with if they are given the chance. Who is on your celebrity hookup list?
I haven't given this too much thought, but I definitely have. I've thought about it. Everyone's thought about it. Hey, you're hot. You're a celebrity. Chances of me meeting you are extremely slim. But hey, shoot your shot if I ever meet you. And there's people that are on the list that you definitely don't even stand a chance, either because of age or because they're taken. Um, but you have a list, and those people are on your list, and I have a list, and there's people on my list, and some of the people on my list include Ryan Reynolds, of course, but I'm not too much into guys, at least not as much as I once was. Um, but some girls that are on my list: Chloe Grace Moretz, which is an extremely hot actress. I love all her movies. She's great. Uh, Two more females that are included in my list is Abigail Breslin, which is the girl that plays Little Rock in Zombieland, and I love all her movies. And that third one is, like I mentioned earlier, not going to happen because of age and Taken, but definitely Mila Kunis. Especially in her That 70s Show days. Um, but even still today, she is smoking. Another one I just thought of who is also very, very attractive is Joey King.
Great way to objectify women there. Though I do have to admit, I wouldn't mind getting with WR400455437, also known as the blue-haired Tracy from Detroit Become Human. If there is any skill or talent you would like to master, what would it be?
When it comes to skills, I'm very musically inclined. I play guitar very avidly. I play bass on an intermediate level. I play drums on a beginner to immediate level. Piano is definitely at a beginner level, and ukulele is, if there's anything more simpler than a beginner level, then that would be where I am. I only know 4 chords on the ukulele, but I would definitely love to master the piano, or at least play it as masterful as I could. I love the sound of a piano. I think it's very magical, and I think you can get a lot of good song potential out of a piano, even more than you can get out of a guitar. So I really wish I knew how to play the piano much more than I can now.
Since we know you're a big guy, it takes a lot of food to keep a big guy charged, so what would you say your favorite food is?
My favorite food really depends on my mood. I have my foreign days, and I have my carnivore days. And lately, I've been in my foreign days, which in my foreign days, I only go to one country, and it's always Chinese. God, I love Chinese food. But when I'm feeling meaty and I want to get that protein, I always go for a nice, thick ribeye steak, medium rare. But I also have my seafood days, which I always go for the shrimp. I love shrimp. Or sometimes I get sometimes I like to combine them and get the steak and shrimp lo mein, which is basically little pieces of shrimp and pieces of steak cut up into noodles and mixed up, and it's really great, especially with soy sauce. God, you gotta try that.
In your regular life more than your YouTube life, I notice you make a lot of references to different movies and TV shows. What would you say are your favorite TV shows and movies?
I have a list of favorite TV shows. You can never pick just one. I am not a fan of Game of Thrones. I didn't like it even before the terrible ending, which I never even saw the ending, but I just hear it's terrible because everyone here, it's terrible. I don't like The Walking Dead. American Horror Story, I'll admit I never watched. I'm sure I would like it because I love horror and I love thriller, but I just never got around to watch it. Black Mirror, it has its episodes. Some episodes are good. Some episodes are very tedious, and they just seem like they're never going to end, and they're boring. And whenever I get to those episodes, I just take a long pause from Black Mirror because I just don't want to watch it anymore. But my favorite TV shows, definitely at the top of the list, is Friends. I love Friends. You can ask me any question about Friends from any season, from any episode. Probably the only thing you can't ask me is a specific title of an episode. But even then, I think I'm pretty good at, because I really don't care about the title of the episodes, but I've seen them so many times that I think I just know what's going to happen immediately just from the title of the episode. So if you ask me like that, like what happens in the one with the ball, spend a whole day throwing a ball throughout the entire episode. I am very good with that. The one where they move out, that is when Chandler and Monica finally move to their new house, which is, I believe, the third to last episode. I don't know what number it is, but I believe it's the third to last episode of the 10th season. And always, every single time, no matter how many times I watch it, the last two episodes of season 10, the last two episodes of the entire series, always brings tears to my eyes. I don't shed tears, I don't bawl like a bitch, but they bring tears to my eyes. Also on my list of favorite TV shows is Rick and Morty. I love Rick and Morty. It's part of my background for most of my videos. And also Bones, the criminal thriller TV show. I love that. And probably my favorite cartoon is definitely SpongeBob. Franchise, it's definitely hard to pick. There's a lot of great franchises. There's a lot of big money franchises. There's a lot of well-known franchises. There's a lot of low budget, not as well known franchises. And I know a lot of them. You got Joyride, you have Evil Dead, you have the Frankenstein movies, which not a lot of people know is a franchise, but there's multiple Frankenstein movies. There is actually, I believe there's three sequels to, or no, sorry, there's two sequels to the Frankenstein movie original. There's Bride of Frankenstein, and I believe there's another one after that, but I don't know for sure. It might just be Bride of Frankenstein. But my favorite franchise, my favorite high budget, good quality, well-known franchise is probably Chucky, also known as Child's Play in the first three movies. I did not like the last one, known as Cult of Chucky. I think they should have just left it at the one before it and then stopped. But I did not like how Cult of Chucky was, and I haven't seen the reboot yet. I have not, so no spoilers in the comments, please. And I'm scared to watch it because he's not even a good guy anymore. He's a buddy, and I don't like that at all. They shouldn't have changed anything if they were going to make a reboot. They should have made him more scarier, less cute, and they should have left it at that. Definitely more gore. A guy getting shot with nails, it's okay, but I want more gore. I need a Saw level of gore, always. And that's what I love about movies, is gore and jump scares. And Chucky lacks in those, despite it being my favorite franchise. I just love the whole idea of Chucky. But my favorite franchise, low budget, is caught between two of them. Either Paranormal Activity or Wrong Turn, which both are really great franchises. I highly recommend them if you love a good edge of your seat but covering your eyes thriller. Now, my favorite horror movie as a solo, not a franchise, no sequels. I might have to say Truth or Dare. The most recent one, I believe it was released in 2017. Might have been 2018. It's that new one. I saw it in theaters, and it was really good. I loved it. I loved the trailer. I highly recommend it. It's definitely up there. I don't know if I would say it's my favorite, but To be honest, I can't really think of any horror solo movies right now because my mind is just focusing on franchises right now for some reason. Um, Before this year, it was definitely Zombieland, if you want to count that as a horror movie. I would count it as more of a comedy thriller in a way. Um, but either way, it's a very good movie.
If you could have dinner with any 5 people, past or present, who would you pick?
I don't know if I can name 5 just because there's not that many people that influence me, honestly. Um, but definitely at the top of the list is Kurt Cobain. I love his music. I love uh, what he's done to the rock genre. I love what he did with Nirvana. Uh, I love Foo Fighters. Um, I would definitely love to meet Kurt Cobain if he was still with us. Another one would be Paul Walker. He's a great actor. I love his work all the way back to uh, Eight Below, uh, all the way to his last movie in Brick Mansions, and you have Vehicle 19, Timeline, which goes all the way back to 2003. Uh, Fast and Furious is definitely my all-time favorite franchise when it comes to cinema. I love all the actors in there, and I have a T-shirt. You guys saw that in my birthday video. If you watched that, um, Kurt Cobain and Paul Walker is probably the only people I can think of.
If you could travel back in time to any decade for whatever reason, which would you travel to?
If I really had to pick a decade to visit, I would definitely love to visit the 70s. They had really great music.